You know where I go, if I could go anywhere, wherever it is I'm really from, and wherever I had a life before the TVA came along. Maybe I had a jet ski. That's what I'd like to do. Just riding around on my jet ski.
Prune him.
Oh my god, no.
This is new for me.
What?
Hi everyone, welcome back to Science of Film. I'm Shauna. So this week, of course, we're looking at the 4th episode of the Marvel series Loki. I'm, of course, ready with my Marvel t-shirt. We're going to put those 2 minutes on the clock and we're going to get talking about this week's fairly explosive episode. Let's get going. So obviously a lot occurred in episode 4 this week. Very hard to know where to start. I suppose let's start at the very beginning. This week we saw Sylvie had been taken by the TVA as a child, and of course she wonders what her Nexus event was, and it actually appears to be her birth. Apparently she's not supposed to exist as the goddess of mischief. Notice how all of the other variations that we've seen of Loki have all been male. So that's a very interesting point if that's actually the case, which it does appear to be so. And as we see in the time loop that Loki is in with Lady Sif, we see her tell him repeatedly, you deserve to be alone and you always will be. And for Sylvie, this is the sad truth. She has always been alone, running from the TVA until Loki. And so with this, it creates a bond between the two of them. You know, they find comfort and understanding in each other, which makes a certain amount of sense. I mean, they are essentially the same being. But of course, out of that, something more begins to develop. Towards the end, we see Loki try to tell Sylvie that he loves her, or at least we think that's what he's trying to say, or he loves himself. It's a little bit confusing and a little bit narcissistic, but it's also kind of cute, so let's roll with it. But just before he's about to say this, Ravonna prunes him. I mean, what the And then before that, we have to deal with the fact that Mobius is pruned just as he's discussing his dream of riding a jet ski. I mean, way to break our hearts, Marvel. Way to go. And then, as if we didn't already have enough twists and shocks, we also found out that the timekeepers are actually robots. So who in fact is the real mastermind behind the TVA? Well, I have some theories. One is Ravonna, you know, okay, I know my 2 minutes is up, but let me just finish my theories. Run with me. One of them is Ravonna. You know, she doesn't seem very surprised at all about the fact that the TVA workers are actually variants, or that the timekeepers are robots. The other is Kang the Conqueror, who in the comics has been known to travel through time and conquer various worlds, and there is a connection there with the timekeepers. And the other that I have in mind is He Who Remains, who is another comic book character who was known as the creator of the timekeepers. So it could be any of them, or it could be none of them. I mean, it's anyone's guess. Everything is still literally shrouded in mystery in this Loki series. So who knows? But what do you guys think? Who do you think is the real mastermind behind the TVA? And do you think that Mobius will finally return and finally get to fulfill his dream of riding a jet ski? Because if I don't get that by the end of this series, I'm going to be severely disappointed. Severely. So let me know, guys, your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you want to know a little bit more about my own thoughts on this series, you'll find more information in my blog, Science of Film, the link to which I will also leave below for you. Thanks, guys, very much for joining me this week for the episode 4 review of Loki, and for putting up with my slightly extra longer time. I did have an awful lot to say on this particular episode. There was, to be fair, a lot that happened. I look forward to seeing you all next week for the episode 5 review of Loki. See you all then.